One of the biggest myths about the Israel-Palestine conflict is that it's been going on for centuries, all about ancient religion.
Throughout watching the video we showed our audience, there isn't much of a reaction in the state of their facial expression, but more of a concentrated mood as they watch over the brief summary of history between the Israel-Palestinian conflict. After watching the video, we then decided to ask our audience a couple of questions.
Just have a couple questions. Now, I'm not sure if any of you knew anything about this before or if you knew a lot, but the first one is, as it said at the beginning, the forming of Israel and how it came about. Do you believe Britain should harbour more of a responsibility in brokering peace in the region?
Furthermore, as the video finishes and questions get asked, we receive very little response from our audience. We're perhaps thinking that after watching a very conflicting video, audience need a few minutes to process their own views on the situation. As you can see, only one person shows any interaction, and we have to keep putting input to his answers to keep the conversation going.
So do you believe ethically that is...
We think reasons for this is because despite watching the video, our audience feel like they don't know too much about it to spoke their opinion, but would rather listen to others first.
As it spoke about in the video, how do you feel about Israeli settlers moving into Palestinian land, like sacred land?
I don't agree with that. I don't think.
Can you see why the Israeli settlers are doing it?
The reason for saying this is as the anomaly speaker spreads his views first, the rest of the group then follow on and start talking more about their views in the next question.
Stopping food and supplies getting through, constantly bombing, is basically, I don't want to use the word genocide, but it's close to it. It's close to it. You could view it from that point, but I understand why they moved out because of the Second World War and the Holocaust. It was awful. It's one of the worst things to ever happen in human history, but you shouldn't go this hardcore to someone that was already living there.
Mm-hmm. And how do you feel about documentaries like these not showing the violence in reality? Because that didn't really show what it was like on the streets and in the country itself. It mostly spoke about history and politics.
I think that it's good and bad because in a way at least it tells you what you were saying, it shows how it was made.
Yeah,
if you had all the violence, you'd be more focused on that rather than actually why it's occurring and the backstory of it.
But at the same time I don't think you get as much of a, I don't know, it doesn't.
You don't want to relate so much.
No, that's all I would say.
Situation and then
Yeah.
it's just a generalized idea.
Exactly.
So if it was a real person, maybe we would feel more sympathy towards them and how they feel and what they're going through.
When asked about how they feel about not showing their everyday life in that area, audience expressed how in which because in the video they don't see clips of their lifestyle, they don't feel as much sympathy as they can't relate and see only more of a generalised idea.
And if you knew anything about this conflict previously, if you've heard anything about it in the news, have you heard anything similar to that, or has it changed your perspective?
It's more, I suppose, news-wise, it's more Palestine may do something, but then Israel hits back incredibly hard. That always seems a bit I'm trying to get the word. Seems not an overreaction, but it always seems that Israel has has American money behind it. They have a lot of defence systems and everything. And it's like if someone's throwing a stone at you, so you're going to shoot a missile back up.
Approved a plan to divide British Palestine into two separate states.
We then analysed the second group after watching it. Again, we had a pretty similar reaction where in which our audience don't say too much, but the anomaly guest leads the group as the rest sit around listening and nodding.
So basically, it spoke about at the video, after World War II, Britain took over the area and basically said to Jewish people...
They divided up between France, it was,
yeah.
France, yeah.
And they said to the Jewish people, just move in, without reference or
Well, they actually kicked
asking.
out a lot of, because I read up a little bit, not the latter politics, but I know that after the Second World War.
The more research and knowledge the audience member has taken in previous to watching the video, they seem to have a far more of an opinion to the point, and they will even get frustrated when talking and asking questions about the topic. This is because what the Israeli settlers did was against the rules.
Does probably bear quite a bit of responsibility for what is the current situation in Israel and Palestine.
Because of the not-so-responsive focus group as a whole, we decided to take one of them into a separate room and see if they express their views in more depth. What sort of emotions do you get when watching the video?
You're sort of a bit unaware, so you sort of feel a bit bad that you aren't as informed, and you also feel bad that it's your people that did this to a lot of the things that happened there because of people from your country, like from England. But then also you feel bad that they're still going through it, and obviously our life is a lot easier here. We don't have any war-torn areas or anything like that. And it sort of, shines a light a little bit about those things.
How do you feel about them not showing their everyday life?
We're sort of getting rid of the main, how they live, and just only showing the bad bits.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, it's a bit cherry picking what they want to show, but I guess that's their intention of this. Like vlogs who have made it, they've made it to tell this story, and they've missed out certain bits. Like there might be people there that are living absolutely fine every day, no problems, but they might not, or there definitely isn't. So they're just sort of trying to highlight the fact that
the results of this seemed successful, as the subject gave far more in-depth answers, telling us that people perhaps are more likely to express political matters to you individually